Good morning, Mr. Buzz. How's it going?
Morning, Alex. Very well. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. What a surprise film we have this week.
Yeah, we've jumped on the bandwagon like everyone else. We've gone with
Yeah.
007, James Bond, No
Indeed.
Time to Die.
We've done the work for so that if you feel you want to go to the cinema, you can decide after our chat. So
It's a big old film as well, 2 hours and 45
Correct.
minutes, but
Correct.
I enjoyed every minute. But yeah, the director of the film is Cary Joji Fukunaga.
That's
And
it, yeah.
he's written, he had help writing It, the first one recently, the horror movie, and also he was a producer for the first series of True Detective,
And he's got a few episodes directed too. The first, the one with Matthew McConaughey.
We rate very highly that as very memorable and still to this day. We went to the cinema to watch this, didn't we, Alex? And
Indeed.
And it's kind of like obviously us both being fans of Bond. When you go in to watch a Bond film, you are kind of expecting a certain premise to the film, a certain kind of onset.
Correct.
And I don't think it disappointed really. I think it's like one of the big. I think everyone sees it as like a big masterpiece of like Englishness and Britishness and filmmaking in general, really, and it's such a big task to undertake.
It is a big task, but I think that's exactly what it should be, to be honest.
Yes, it should be what actors and actresses aspire to be in, and be one day I want to be in a Bond film, just like a footballer would say one day I want to play for the national team. It's like Billie Eilish with the soundtrack as the intro credits. Again, that's just the intro credits is just one of those things about a Bond film that everyone can appreciate. And Billie Eilish is singing the soundtrack. I think it is just called No Time to Die. It was good. What did you think of it, Alex?
So first of all, like you said, it ticks all the boxes for a Bond film. So all the boxes from the 70s Bonds, it ticks all the boxes. So it has a Bond villain, it has a good action, it has good acting, it has a very good storyline, good dialogue. Yes. So it ticks all those boxes. And from a directing's point of view, that's also very in line. It's nothing. There was before this film, before Joji Fukunaga came in as a director, it was Danny Boyle that was signed up for it. And we both know Danny Boyle is an out there of type of director, very brilliant director, but he has his own personal style, his own energy, his own look. So, and then he came off because of creative differences. That's what is a very general term when you don't want to know why he came off the project.
Yes.
But it makes you think if that would have been the right decision or not, because he's full out there. James Bond would have looked a totally different type of James Bond if he was in his hands. With this director, is much more closer to what a Bond film should look like. It is a bit safer, but it just delivers exactly what you need. So I found it fantastic, to be honest. And I'll ask the question to you now. Favorite Bond film, sir?
Favorite Bond film, very good question. See, for me, I feel like my answers are going to be a bit biased, just because when I was growing up, it was like Pierce Brosnan and his films. Right. So obviously you've got like The World Is Not Enough, Die Another Day, and so I've been looking through them all, because this is the 25th one now, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think out of like the 25, I think I've seen like 20. There's only like 5 I haven't really seen, and they're like the older ones, a few of the ones with like Sean Connery on. And then Tomorrow Never Dies, that was the other one. And these are all like Pierce Brosnan ones. I think out of all of them, I think Die Another Day, that would have been my favourite. Just because, as I say, it's just the era that I was growing up. It's like between my ages of like being 10 and like 15, those are the ones that were coming out. So I'd say Die Another Day personally. But what would you say? By the way, that's the last one with Pierce Brosnan in it.
Is it Die Another? Yeah, it might be.
Die Another Day, yeah.
Something with Tomorrow. There's another one with called something Tomorrow.
You would be thinking of Tomorrow Never Dies. That was his second one, because he only did 4.
Okay.
So there's GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough, and then Die Another Day.
World Is Not Enough, that's it, yeah. To be honest, I got introduced to the Bond franchise with Pierce Brosnan, because by the time I had access to big franchise films, and then I went back and saw some of the older ones, not all of them. But my all-time favorite was Casino Royale with Daniel Craig.
Okay, yeah, and that was the first. That was the first one with Daniel. That was the first one.
That's the first one with Daniel. But now this is the last one with Daniel, and I think this is my all-time favorite. No Time to Die.
Top set. The top set.
It is very much exactly what end of an era, because Daniel Craig, man, he's changed even as from an actor's perspective, but as a skilled, his skills have changed, I think, from the first one to this one. Don't you think? I mean, Casino Royale was a bit loose cannon, to be honest. Yeah. Even in his acting, don't you think? And now in this one, he's much more, confident, I would say. In the role.
It's like he's really kind of made it his, hasn't he? Really, because even before the Bond films, Daniel Craig. If you look at films that he's done before the Bond franchise, like they're actually half decent films. But now, obviously, he's like developed his skills so much to fit that role. I think when he finally passes away in the future, people will remember him the most probably for his role in the Bond films. Which I think is a pretty impressive feat to say, really, as an actor. It's not like it's not a bad thing just to be remembered as that. But yeah, I think he's like the final product of what you want for a great actor, and as you say, he almost seems a little bit laid back now, maybe because of that's just his age and experience, exactly. And he seems a lot cooler and a lot more finessed in his role, in this
refined as an actor, because even in this film you've got, well, first of all, the writing for this Bond film is very good. I found it one of the best, because it does have 4 screenwriters on the credits, but the snippets in between when you don't have any action, so first of all, it's not full of action, the film. It's just have maybe 2 or 3 set pieces of action, but in between is the development of the story, which is very good. And even those pieces, it gives the opportunities to the actors to sparkle because of the dialogue. From from M or Q, all of them have the little moments when they're being normal people. They're no longer a function of the subject of the plot. They're actually individual. There's a scene, without spoiling, it's not spoiling actually. There's a scene when Q, which is the nerd, the nerd guy,
the gadget man,
is just trying to prepare a dinner at home, and then Bond comes and crashes it, and he's like, that's what normal people do. And he actually says, it's never a 9-to-5 job. He actually says that, and I'm like, hang on, this is how normal people behave, which are not in the film.
And there's always elements of just humour in it. I mean, that would be disappointing if Bond didn't have a few elements of humour in it, wouldn't it? But they get the comedy spot on. And just on the script writing as well, like, the Rami Malek's role in the film, absolutely fantastic, and he manages to make, I think it might seem a little bit cliche that the villain of choice always has some philosophical point to make, which you kind of agree with, but like in the film, he's given a good script. He makes some points in the movie that you can't really argue with. His philosophy, and I think that's important. But it's done well. It's not cringeworthy, and that's the problem with Bond. It's like it can be cringeworthy because I think, as me and you were leaving the cinema, I said to you, you have to take it with a little bit of pinch of salt, because it is a little bit slapstick. It is a little bit carry-on film sometimes, but I think that's what the Bond franchise kind of has to be.
Exactly.
It can't take itself 100% seriously all the time, because otherwise it just wouldn't have the same feel about it. But some people do come out of cinema going, that was unrealistic, or that was a bit naff, and what I mean. It's like you can't go in there thinking it's going to be Born Identity. It's not the Born Identity. It's a Bond film.
No, and it's not a documentary either. So
exactly.
But very well done to the whole team, and Daniel Craig. Is worthy of the applause, because he's been in so many and he's changed so well and actually helped the franchise be what it is now. So highly recommended, especially at the cinema, but anytime you catch it. This is a one that I will rewatch with pleasure, to be honest, in the future.
But it's definitely a cinema going watch, isn't it?
Sure.
Definitely.
For sure, All right, sir. I'll talk to you next week,
Take care, Alex. Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.